Welcome and thank you for joining me today. I'm Tony Lazzaro. I'm here with the beautiful, enigmatic T8iana, the charismatic, beautiful singer that's just launched her career, and we're going to be asking her a few questions. We're here in the beautiful Abbey Road in St Kilda, Melbourne, Australia, and I hope you enjoy our interview. Hi T8iana, thank you for joining me.
How are you?
I'm very well, darling. You're looking amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Fantastic. And tell me a little bit more about T8iana. Firstly, I think everybody wants to know, how do you pronounce your name?
Well, it's a bit of a stylized version of my actual name. So my real name is actually T8iana, but we thought if you're going into the music business, it has to be something more stylistic. So we added the letter 8 into it. So it's actually T8iana, which is T8iana.
So that's how you pronounce it. You pronounce it T8iana.
That's correct, Tony. And the funny thing is that if you go to Siri and ask Siri to play T8iana, it won't understand. You have to say T8iana, and then Siri would understand. So the name is T8iana.
So that's wonderful. That's beautiful. And tell me, who is T8iana? Who is? Look, I see you. You're beautiful. I've heard your music. It's amazing. Just tell people a little bit more about you.
Well, T8iana is a small town girl. I was born in a country called Mauritius, and in my childhood I moved to different countries. Grew up in Mauritius, went to India, went to Dubai, and then came here to Australia with 2 suitcases and made Australia my home.
And so you've made Australia your home.
Correct.
It's a long way from that 12-year-old girl that from Mauritius came to Australia. It's a long period of time. Now you're releasing your music. How did you get into the music business?
It's a really good question. You know, as a kid, I never really wanted to be a musician. I always dreamt of being an artist, you know, a painter. And I was really influenced by, again, work from people like Lazzaro and Keith Haring and other artists. And that really inspired me. I wanted to be a painter. But the issue was that we didn't have enough financial power, or my parents weren't that well off that they could send me to art school. So I just, you know, directed all my creativity towards music. And one of the avenues that really helped me was my mom was a big fan of the 80s music. So we always had this 80s music playing around the house when she was doing her duties, you know. So I picked up all those songs. I used to sing along to all those 80s artists on the radio, 70s artists on the radio, and that became, you know, the background music of my life, I guess.
So talking of your inspiration, who is your musical inspiration? Where did that come from?
Oh, that's a good question. So basically the 80s artists, you know, so I did listen to a lot of MJ, Michael Jackson, of course, the big star of the 80s. George Michael was one of the artists I really listened to a lot. There was Madonna, and then there were artists from the 70s like your Joni Mitchell and Beatles.
Okay.
So I love their music as well. However, as my taste has progressed in the current music scene, I do like Frank Ocean a lot. He does inspire me quite a bit.
Nice.
Troye Sivan, and also other artists like Lil Nas X.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. And tell me, how, you know, now you're out there, so tell me, how do you respond to the criticism, the trolls, the online trolls on social media? Do you get a lot of that? Does that happen? Because a lot of artists in this space tend that once they put themselves out there, they also expose them to that world.
That's a really good question as well, Tony, and it does happen a lot, and anyone who's on social media knows that there are trolls and there will be people who will criticize you. I personally believe that people who criticize you or post bad comments on social media, there are a couple of reasons why they do that. That's my personal opinion. Either they want to be like you, so they don't like you being there, so they hate you for that because they want to be like you and they can't be like you. Mm-hmm. Or there are people who possibly they desire you and, you know, they want to have sex with you, I guess, and because they can't get it, the only way they can get attention from you is by commenting on your posts and trying to make comments that get attention. I think, in my opinion, the best thing to do is to just ignore those comments.
Yeah, you seem like a pretty strong woman, and I think, yeah, that's something that you'll be able to handle quite well moving forward. Speaking of online, I've got some questions here that I believe your Instagram followers ask you a few of these questions. Now, I've got about, I don't know, would you be interested in answering these questions?
Yeah, let's
Here we
give
go.
it a
All right,
let's
I've got a
give it
question
go.
here from Irvin from the USA. What is your favorite drink?
My favorite drink is actually coffee, but it's not this coffee, to be honest. I like bullet coffee or bulletproof coffee, as they call it. Do you know what that is?
I have heard of it. Okay, I got a question here from Roscoe from Italy. Would you ever hook up with a follower?
Ooh, now that's a hard one, only because that's outside my rule book. You can't hook up with a follower. But then having said that, I don't play by the rules anyway.
Okay, well, this is going to lead me to my next question. This is question number 3. This is from Jay from Australia. Now, what's the naughtiest thing you wanted to do sexually? Now, you don't have to answer that if it makes you feel uncomfortable, but I'll throw it over to you.
Well, considering this is a very candid interview, I might as well, share that. I think my favorite, or one thing that I would really like to do one day, and we can bleep it out afterwards if this is a problem, is to have sex in a plane toilet.
Interesting. So there you go, Jay. You might meet her in the airport. If you ever see T8iana in the airport, you may have a chance in the airplane toilet. Okay, from Jose from Argentina. Okay, here we go. Wait for it. What is your boob size?
Ooh, I've been asked that question so many times that I actually have a standard answer for that. And the answer is my boobs are big enough to have their own postcode or zip code.
Okay, well, that's interesting. There you go. Well, there you go. On a more serious note, T8iana, and thank you for those questions. That's greatly appreciated. And T8iana, let's talk about your debut single. Tell us a little bit more about it. What's it called, and what the inspiration behind was about it?
So the song that I've just released is called What Have You Got to Say Now? I wrote the song during the whole pandemic time at home, and it was recorded. We did the vocal tracking here in Melbourne at a local studio called Big Ears Audio, not far from where we are. And the music was produced by Clarence Jey, who is a Grammy-winning producer in LA, and all the mixing was done in LA as well. So that song, is about my life. If you're in the LGBTI spectrum and you're a kid, a lot of us do experience a lot of oppression, and there's a lot of dissonance in what you feel and what the world around you looks like to you and how you interact with the world. So this song is about a girl who felt oppressed and suppressed, persecuted, and through her childhood and her adult life, and how she's come through on the other side victorious.
Oh, that's fantastic. And what impact do you wish to have your music to have on the world or on people?
I think my music is primarily dance music, so there's a levity to it, and it's fun music, it's dance music, it's normally 125 BPM kind of music, it's disco music, it's music you can play on a dance floor. However, I want to use that to express themes that are more LGBTI related and could be more serious themes, but I want to express it in a fun way. And obviously I want to give those people who feel persecuted and oppressed, especially in the LGBTI community, I want my music to give them a voice.
So to give them a voice and strength. So it's dance music with a message. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely correct.
Oh, that's fantastic. So it's music that's going to empower people, as well as empowering people. It's going to make them joyous and happy. That's fantastic. That's really, really good. I've heard the single, and I think the single's great, mind you.
Thank you.
So tell us what's next.
Well, the next bit that we're going to do is my next single, which is called Celebration, and it's been spelled with an 8 after the T in the word celebration. So the song is ready. It's an amazing dance track, and we're going to be shooting the video for that in about 2 months from now. We're getting ready with all the production details currently. The storyboard is being created, and it's going to be massive. At the same time, I'm also working on launching a charity for LGBTI kids to help them in schools and young young adults as well, which is called the Celebration Trust. And then we're going to launch these two things together because then I can ensure that I'm having an impact musically, but we're also contributing some money and working towards the community.
That's fantastic. So stay tuned, because the celebration single and the charity sound like a great idea. It's a beautiful idea, T8iana. And for the people, we're going to wrap up now, but where can we find T8iana? I know you said you're on streaming services, but if you'd just like to share where they can find you and so on.
Sure, thanks for that. So the name is T8iana, as you know.
So slow that down again, darling. Say that again.
T8iana, and on Instagram I've got a couple of different accounts, but my most popular one is the_real_T8iana. Facebook it's T8iana, Spotify is T8iana, and Twitter is T8iana official.
Okay, so remember that it's T8iana. So all on streaming services, Spotify,
Apple Music,
Deezer, just anything. So just look it up, listen to the track. The track is awesome, and I'm looking forward to hearing Celebration, because if it's anything like this one, it's going to be a cracker. Thanks, T8iana. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much, Tony.
Thank you.
Cheers.